Previously on Animal Movers.
Matthews is saying that he's not on this flight.
He's calling me, screaming, ranting and raving about how he's not on the flight. Now he wants the wolves pulled off the flight. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
I ship the wolves. That's my job. I'm not his ticket agent.
And there's no room on the flight?
Every day, thousands of animals are on the move. They travel just like we do. Hop in a plane, jump in a car, the usual. My name is James Nelligan. I own Pacific Pet Transport. We move the big, small, dangerous, and docile. It's a toss-up sometimes who should be in the cages, the animals or my crew. We do this because we love animals. We move any animal anywhere on this planet. We are the Animal Movers.
There's nothing we can do. You can't pull them off. They're already secured and over. I can't.
We're at the gate and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from Matthew. Well, he didn't change his ticket to get on this flight. I made sure the wolves were getting on that flight. I gave him the information. I know I gave the airline the information, but it behooves him to actually check up to make sure that he's on the flight.
We're not a ticket agent. We're not a travel agency. We ship animals as cargo, and we did our job. We did what we were supposed to do.
I've done what I can do. Don't start getting mad at me because you're not. I'm my own man. You asked me to help you get on the flight, and you had your ticket information. I forwarded it, and it's done. It got done.
Pulling the wolves off this flight makes no sense.
No. No way. They would bill me for it.
Well, dude, we went through way too much just to get into this point.
Okay. Back. Everything's fine, I guess, now. I want to go home. I'm tired.
So we got permission by TSA to be escorted onto the tarmac to oversee the load-in of the wolves. Just a nice group of people up there at Alaska Airlines up in Anchorage. So we met all these nice employees there. We're on the tarmac, and then the captain comes up, and he's like, hey, you guys want a chocolate?
Chocolate, of course.
It was like, this is a great, thing you're doing here. I'm really proud to be the pilot to be flying these wolves down.
The wolves are taken from the warehouse to the tarmac pulled by a tug. They're then offloaded onto the loader, which is then hoisted up and then loaded into the aircraft using a series of rollers, which then locks into place. Doors closed, wheels up.
They seem to be doing pretty well. The ice is still in the crates, so they've got something to drink, and amazingly, they're not freaking out.
Wolves are all loaded on, ready to go, heading down to Seattle. So we're excited. We'll get in about 1:30 in the morning.
There could be some delay. They said it could be up to 12 inches of snow in Fraser Park. So it's kind of great for these wolves. We're going to go from snow to snow.
Pleasure bringing you here tonight. We have a little bit of a different flight bringing all these wolves with us that are in the cargo area. Look forward to seeing the documentary that's going to be made about that one. Hope the rest of you have a wonderful rest of the morning.
Here we go.
Hey, everybody conscious? What do we got?
After a 3.5-hour flight from Anchorage to Seattle, Matthew immediately checks on the wolves' condition before they are offloaded.
Good boy. Good boy. Hey, Elvira. Those sticks are awake.
Pick them out? Yeah, work them out.
All right. Pick them out. We're good.
It was critical to get the wolves unloaded as quickly as possible to evaluate their condition and get them hydrated.
Will they be in this tree? Well, if you call living on 5-foot chains a good life, you know.
As they were coming off the aircraft, I was just trying to see how they were doing and if any of them were showing any signs of stress. They all looked great and traveled well. Usually, like, even domestic pets are the ones that are so loud and whiny.
We hear dogs below us all the time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, we can hear them. If they were in there, if they make a noise, we heard them.
But there's always a couple of wolves that were not happy and chewed through the protective wiring.
I feel like it's 1:30 and I didn't sleep, and I'm not gonna sleep till tonight. But the cold air woke me up, so, you know, feel pretty good.
The offload went excellent. It was actually, the pilots were great. They were like, yeah, they didn't make a peep. We could smell them. Here's our van. Even in Seattle, we were hands-on, helping anyone out, whatever needed to be done.
Hold on.
Beautiful.
We get there, and Matthew's like, you know, we need to get these guys hydrated. So there's bags of ice. So we were hand feeding these wolves ice cubes. And the coolest part was that some wolves would finally realize that, you know, you're trying to help them out and literally pretty much taking ice right out of our hands. So it was really cool.
A week ago today, I would not think I'd be feeding ice to wolves in a warehouse in Seattle.
Things are going well. Everyone's getting water, everyone's getting ice. We'll get buckled up and make this long trip to Los Angeles. I was worried about her or any one of them bleeding, so it makes me feel a lot better to pull her out. Know her sutures are intact because she's a spay. A little more complicated. And I had to get Denali out of that little crate, man. He's too big for that.
It was great to see some of them released into the tiger crates. And then it was time to figure out how to load them all into the trailer.
Okay, so what we're going to do is the trailer, they can't go in sideways, so they have to go in against the left-hand side, and then we'll put 2 more 700s, and then we're going to go up on top with 700s and strap them down, all right?
I had told Matthew many times that all of those crates would not fit in that trailer. It's like jamming a square in a circle. There's so much crap loaded in that trailer, which was so unnecessary. It was a real challenge.
I'm no Tetris expert, but you can tell that not all these crates are going to fit inside this trailer. And to top it off, he brought these massive, like tiger crates that ate up even more space than the crates that we transported these wolves in.
When I saw Matthew realize that the wolves weren't going to fit in the trailer, and he had the genius idea of loading them on top of the trailer, I'm like, this guy's crazy. And I finally had to tell him, like, no, you're not doing that. And he didn't want to listen to anyone. It was his way or no way. We were talking to different volunteers, like, hey, you need to really talk to this guy and tell him this is not going to happen. So finally, you had the whole crew of volunteers persuading Matthew, saying, you know what? No way you're going to load those up top. So he actually loaded 1 or 2 in the cab of the truck with them so that they were not strapped to the top of the trailer.
There we go. Beautiful.
Before I left, you know, I just wanted to wish him good luck. You know, it's been a long, strange trip.
Yeah,
All right.
we need it. We couldn't have done it without you.
Call us when you're like 5 hours on your way.
Right, the weather thing, if we're in front of the storm, 24 hours.
All right, well, have a safe drive. We'll see you then.
All right.
Well, it's Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. Nate and I are just driving up the 5 freeway. up to Fraser Park. We're not in Alaska anymore, kids. We're now back in California. Matthew and his crew are trying to get to Fraser Park before a big snowstorm is about to hit. Hopefully they're there at the same time so that we can come in, see them offload the wolves, check out the sanctuary, and get out of there before we get snowed in, because we're all pretty tired. It's been a long 5 days.
We're driving up there based off the assumption that like he's going to be arriving around the same time. And we get there to the gate, and we're calling and calling and calling, and there's no answer. So we're getting frustrated. Are they not here yet? Are they there and they're offloading the wolves and they're just not answering the phone? You know, what's going on? So there's an access road off to the side. Drive around the fence, get onto the property. As you're driving up, you see the enclosures where the wolves are being kept.
We can't find anyone. There's all these dogs running around the property. We don't feel comfortable getting out of the car.
And then you see travel crates with Pacific Pet Transport live animal stickers on them, and all the crates are empty.
We called Chuck Swift up to see what's going on, and he said that actually they arrived at 1:30 or so in the morning, unbeknownst to us, because they were saying that they were at about 9:30 last night. They were 50 miles into California, so. Chuck Swift called to apologize for the miscommunication, as the wolves arrived a lot earlier than we anticipated, and we can totally understand. You're dealing with fatigue, stress, lack of sleep, poor weather. The most important thing was that the wolves arrived at Lockwood safe and sound. Unfortunately, we weren't there to see it, but the cool thing is that Chuck had footage of the wolves actually being released at Lockwood, and he was kind enough to forward some of that footage to us.
So Matthew calls, you know, the next day. He invited us back up to see how the wolves were doing in their new habitat. So we went back up to Lockwood Animal Rescue up in Fraser Park and got to see where the wolves were.
So this is Wolf Mansion. That's Ebony up there. You guys remember Ebony?
Yeah, I remember Ebony.
She was buried in the hole. That's the video of me pulling her out of the hole. She's the alpha female.
Okay.
Next to her is Bronco Billy, the alpha male.
That was the one that I was feeding mice in the,
Correct.
in the warehouse.
That said he connected with you?
Yeah.
Right. That's Bronco Billy. So we'll go up this way and say hi.
So how many are in this enclosure right now? You have
Six.
Six.
Six. Okay. And then I'll divert you over here because I want you to get some kisses from a real wolf. Ryder. Ryder. That's a boy.
Whoa, you can talk? You like to talk? Never been licked by a wolf before. Wolf kisses. I'm so stoked they've made it.
Yeah, they made it.
And they seem like they're acclimating well.
Yeah, they're doing really well. Well, one of them has decided to live in the pond.
Really?
So he's been eating koi fish in the pond for the last 3 days.
You're looking at Wazilla. That's Blade, so he's father of 7 of the wolves.
And he'll go into Wolf Mansion in about 6 weeks. Once we get to about the 6-week mark and we drop his testosterone level enough, we're gonna try to introduce him because he's the normal parent and she's the normal mother.
Oh, so this is the pair.
You're right, this is a pair, this is a breeding pair. So our hope is that we can release them into Wolf Mansion and they'll kind of set the tone for everybody in there, because the idea was that we were gonna have 8 in there total. You know, all wolves are social beings and that they need to support in a family structure. So there needs to be an alpha male and alpha female, a couple uncles, and people in a pack. The other thing is that wolves need touch of other wolves. And in the environment these guys were in, they never got to touch each other. So what we're working on here is that we put a very docile pack of 6 in there. And hopefully once Blade calms down and Wasilla calms down, since Blade is their natural father, we'll be able to simulate a pack. He'll assume a father figure role, but he won't have the aggression and the tenacity to go with it. Right now, the pack, and you'll see it when we go over there, they're a little confused. They don't take cues from anybody. They don't really know how to behave or who eats first or any of that stuff. Once he's reintroduced, all those things will kind of fall into line. And what that will do is it will make them healthier because he will ensure that everyone eats. He will ensure that everyone does whatever their job might be. He will ensure that the females, you know, dig a den. He will ensure that food is brought to the females. Right now, it's kind of like a free-for-all, and that's what we've got to do when we spay and neuter him. But, you know, once he gets reintroduced, you know, everyone will kind of fall into line and be a true pack. These wolves, as you see them pace around and do all the other things they've done, they've never even had an opportunity until they arrived here to touch another wolf. And we don't want to deny them that touch anymore.
Can you explain what they were eating up at Wolf Country USA compared to what they're going to be eating now?
Yeah, I'm not sure if what they were eating at Wolf Country was okay.
It smelled kind of rotten.
It smelled kind of rotten. That room was really scary. I think he was essentially feeding like roadkill and scraps from a taxidermy place, I think is what he said, which is, I guess, okay. But what we do here is we do a landfill diversion program, so it's all human-grade food. We feed predominantly chicken, not beef. And then Ryder, the one you see here, who loves us to death, his favorite is fish.
Oh,
so he's a fish eater. So he loves like salmon, tuna, halibut. That's his stuff. And I feed that to him whenever we can. Daddy loves you with all his heart. Yes, I love you with all my heart.
I know.
You want to go for a ride in the truck today? You want to go in the truck? You want to go for a ride?
It's pretty wild. Beautiful creatures.
So here comes Kiowa. Hi, Kiowa. Hi, Kiowa. You gonna say hi? She's very inquisitive for a coyote.
How old is she?
She just turned a year old. Their favorite thing to eat are rattlesnakes, though. That's like
That's a good thing.
That's their special treat. So what we're going to try to do is, if we have the opportunity to rescue young coyotes again, we'll put one in each pack. Because wolves, it's like a bee sting. They get swollen. Sometimes it can block their breathing. It can hurt them to be bit by a rattlesnake. What we found with coyotes is that bite or no bite, they have absolutely no swelling. So it would be nice to have one in each enclosure to kind of keep the rattlesnake population down and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
They seem to get along pretty well. As you can see, I mean, Wiley just walked in their enclosure and they have no,
They're walking right by him.
They have no problem with it, so.
Matthew, the kids want to know, how much wolf poop do you pick up a day?
Well, I would say we feed 5 to 7 pounds, so we're picking up 3 pounds a day. We got 50 animals. That's 150 pounds of poop a day.
Kids, that's a lot of poop.
Wasilla. Wasilla. What a pretty girl, Wasilla. Look at Ebony watching you, dude. Look at Ebony. She's got to go to see a vet here to see if she even has a uterus, because they weren't even sure if she had one or didn't.
Look at this is great.
He's walking on the ice. I mean, he's just a knucklehead. It's a knucklehead. He eats one fish. And the funny thing is, like I told my wife, I said, well, I should jump in and get him out. I mean, he jumps right back in. We have a little ladder here for him to come in and out. And I asked my vet about it. I said, isn't he going to be cold? She goes, he has like a built-in wetsuit.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not cold.
Look at him. He's happy.
Oh, he loves it. He thinks this is his new spot. We're going into Wolf Mansion Minor, which this is a mini security door, to prevent access from one way to the other. But we're gonna hold it open for you guys and let you get in here. So as you can see, I mean, this is, a little more space than the chains, little area to walk, natural layout so they can have a place to hide. We'll put some dog houses in here, but this will be one of the last ones because there's plenty of natural covering.
Sure.
And the reality of it is, you put in man-made covering usually in like dog runs, small areas. So we'll put some stuff in here. But
They'll dig their dens.
Oh yeah, they'll dig huge dens.
Oh, here we go. Look familiar, don't they?
Yeah, they look familiar. So when they got out, the first thing they did was, do laps around the crate until they ran into the fencing, and then they started running perimeter lines and doubling back. It's that whole like memory thing where they think they can't get too far away, that they have a chain around their neck and circling around the crates. Going to see my special favorite boy, Mr. Chompers. Hence his name. He's my favorite. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. You good boy. Oh, I know. Oh, I know you're a good boy. I know. He was an owner's surrender and confiscated in Rancho Cucamonga, believe it or not. Good boy. Good boy.
Just want to thank you for letting us be involved here. I know Nathan and I decided it was like an incredible experience for us, and we're definitely going to find out ways to help you guys out for sure and spread the word.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Totally.
it.
Thank you. Very appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you. Wouldn't have done it without you. It's the bottom line. Wouldn't have done it without you, so thank you very much.
This is a great place you guys have here, and they have a better life, and that's the moral of the story here. It's that you put your mind into something, and when you have a passion for something, great things can happen, and definitely this happened here.
This week on Animal Movers, we're in world.
Wait, one more time?
Yeah. This week on Animal Movers, we're at World Wolf. This week on Animal Movers, we're at Wolf. Oh! What is going on? Give them all. Just give me all of them. This week on Animal Movers,
We're in Anchorage, Alaska.
Can you just give me a hand clap, Slate? One more, please.
I think the wolves are close. Urine's still warm.
this way. Weather. Perfect. Did you catch one, Nate? Things to do when you're waiting.
So tired.
Coming up on season 2 of Animal Movers. This week on Animal Movers. This week on Animal Movers, we're in Dubai. That was so insane. We're in Heidelberg, Germany.
I told you it had a nice bite. I told you.
All he needs is a little name tag, Will. You made a serious career error there, buddy.
She'll love this 1 minute, and the next minute she'll bite your hand.
They're still a dangerous animal.
I mean, who would even allow that?
What gives you the right to have a tiger that's actually a mobile IED running through your community?
Got you.
They came with a lot of drool in the back of my seat, so that's going to be nice.
It's funny.